This is a massive one. Why can't the referee just say, let's stop the game and let's go back 30 seconds?
Yeah, I heard quite a few people ask that question. I understand why people would ask that question. And actually, the VAR and the AVAR asked themselves that question too. When the penny dropped as to what had happened, I think 20 seconds had passed. And at that point, they considered whether or not they could intervene to stop the game, but they recognise that the laws of the game as set by FIFA and the International FA Board doesn't allow that. There's obviously a process in place that sits in the laws of the game about how we use VAR to make sure it's delivered consistently throughout every league in the world, and it doesn't allow you to go back in those circumstances, and as such they decided not to intervene. But I understand why that question was asked, and I know that the International FA Board are, in fact, before this situation happened, I knew they were going to do a full review of the laws of the game relating to the use of VAR. It's been in place for 7 years now. When it was written, there'd never been a game utilising VAR anywhere in the world. They put a protocol in place, and it served the game really well. But now we've got lived experience of situations like we saw this week, then, we can feed into that as well. And the IFAB will look at whether or not there's a need to tweak some of it. And I'm sure that they'll be looking at this aspect of how VAR is used as well.
Martin said there was some really nice insight there into how much he's grown as a coach and what's his first job in management, Stephen. Yeah. Do you put him in that elite bracket of
I think it was a lovely interview. I think it was real, very authentic, really honest. In terms of, saying that he made mistakes early on. He's tried to learn and adapt and do that quickly on the job. You also have to give a special mention to the people above Mikel Arteta at the club who have given incredible support for a long time and allowed him to grow and evolve, knowing that he was a very young coach. He's learnt under Pep, but he's going to need a certain amount of time and windows to create a team that's capable of winning the big prizes, and it looks like he's right on the cusp of doing that. But credit to him, I think he's a lot more calm now. He doesn't look as intense in the media, or when you hear him speak, he's more calm. He's more experienced now. He still gets emotional on the side. Sometimes he oversteps that.
Do you like that?
I've coached against him. I've had his foot marks all over my new shoes. But you've got to love that side of him as well. That's the energy, that's the passion, that's him wanting to win. And of course, we all step over the mark now and again. But the journey that I've watched from afar that he's been on, he's a top coach, and he seems like he's got a real good, tight connection with his players now, which is key.